Welcome to the Marketing Pulpit Show, and I am Robert Gatewood, your host. We are here every Friday at 10:30 a.m. bringing you the good of marketing gospel. We're not saving souls, we're saving businesses, saving jobs, saving our community. Now, if I happen to save a soul along the way, don't hold that against me. We'll just call that icing on the cake. Now, the mission at Marketing Pulpit Show is to build strong businesses in our community so that we can put our people to work. And we do that with business development, job creation, and service. So if you ever find yourself in a business crossroads and not sure which way to turn, just turn on the Marketing Pulpit Show because we're on a mission. You can also find the show on the major platforms, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, LinkedIn, and you can find it at marketingpulpit.com. I come to you here every Friday at 10:30 a.m. bringing you the good marketing gospel. I'm a business developer by trade, and I have a company called Gatewood Marketing and Web. You can go to gatewoodmarketing.com and find out more about me and my company. And you can also go to Facebook. You can go to Twitter. You can go to YouTube. You can go to Instagram. And you can go to LinkedIn and get all the information here because we are on a mission right here at the Marketing Pulpit Show every Friday right here on Radio 1, 1450 AM and 95.9 FM. And we also simulcasting on the platforms of Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and LinkedIn. Got an exciting show today. We're going to talk about an expression that I've somewhat used quite often now. And it says, if the cost is free, the fruit is thee. How would you marinate on that for a minute? If the cost is free, the fruit or the stock or the product is thee. In other words, when you're getting something free, are you really getting something free? Well, just ask the folks at Google because they have created an ecosystem that's exceptional and I haven't seen the likes of it. But I'm going to ask you today, should Google have all the fun? Why should they have all the fun with this ecosystem? But what I'm going to do later in the show, on my marketing sermon, I'm going to talk to you about how you can create your own ecosystem. And it starts with giving away something free. If the cost is free, the product is thee. In other words, the product is you. And that's something that many of us have discovered in the advent of social media and digital marketing. So you get all this free stuff, you get all these free goods, they give you a free account. And you say, man, it's Santa Claus, it's Christmas early. Well, actually, they're getting something from it. But there's a strategy that is the foundation of many of the more successful companies that we're seeing in today. So we're going to talk about it and how we can help you get in on this boss move. I'm also an adjunct professor at Prince George's Community College. I'll be over there on Monday. Matter of fact, we'll be doing a course on Monday on social media strategies. And on Thursday, we'll be talking about networking. So those are two of the three courses that I teach. Last week, I did one on marketing strategies, which is my signature course for marketing strategies for today and tomorrow. So we got a lot going on today. Also, I've written a couple of books, one called Played in Full. And that's a book you might want to dust off this time of year. Because I talk about how, as a community, we have been played up one side and down the other. And all of the institutions that we love, we hold so near and dear, they all join in on the party. I mean, everybody's got their hand in our pockets. So I got frustrated with it because I'm a marketing guy. And sometimes I felt like I was somewhat, we call aiding the enemy. I mean, they're not your enemy, but I was giving companies ideas on how to get that money out of your pocket. So I thought I'd kind of do a little jump on the other side of the table. I wrote a book called Played in Full and talk about some of the very tactics that marketing companies use to part you from your hard-earned money. So much so, I even outlined the different players. There's the pimp, there's the pop, there's the pap. So there's these different layers of playerdom of people that taking money from our community. And so that was one of my way of kind of helping, we call balance the playing field. Anyway, that's one of my books. I also have a book called Smarter Than the Boss. Many people right now, particularly now leaving the workforce, Some are retiring early, some were forced by COVID-19 in the lockdown. So I wrote a book called Smarter Than the Boss, to give you some great articles and information and just insight on what it's like to be on both sides of the employer and employee, and how you can segue some of those skills you have into entrepreneurship. Let's see. I'm going to talk about some items in the news. This one item that everybody keeps talking about, just breaks my heart, because it talks about how on the internet, social media can tell a story, social media can make a story, and sometimes social media is the story itself. Many have chimed in on this young lady, Shanquella Robinson, who went down to Cabo, Mexico with her friends, and she didn't return. She went down there, I guess, celebrating somebody's birthday. It wasn't her birthday, but I understand she footed quite a bit of the bill. They had a nice, like, villa or suite. And one of the friends called the mother to tell her that Miss Robinson was falling ill because of alcohol poisoning. So the mother was like, okay, well, that sounds a little fishy. Why she didn't call me? Well, to make a long story short, and a video surfaced later on that shows another young lady beating Miss Robinson. I mean, pretty viciously. I was shocked. I was like, it doesn't take a lot to shock me. This young lady, 25 years old, small frame, was being beaten viciously by another young lady, and the young lady that being beaten, Miss Robinson, had no clothes on. So what I'm trying to tell you, talk about social media, is how, and Miss Robinson's mother, she credited Black social media for bringing this story to light, because traditionally, and Miss Robinson with many of the people that felt that maybe sometime if a person or a victim is a different hue, let's say white, for instance, then they get different types of media coverage than when they're of color, like Miss Shanquella was. So the mother said, thank you for Black social media. I think she's primarily talking about Black Twitter, for bringing this story to light. And so this story has so many disappointments, and I feel for the young lady, but I've been talking about social media on this show forever. And I've been telling people not to become part of the problem. Don't escalate. Use social media. Don't let it use you. That's even into our theme today. But what disappointed me with the people who are recording this, and this should be a learning moment for everybody. Now, everybody's not going to jump in and break up a fight, but you should not be recording it if you're not going to do something about it. I think sometimes people have forgotten that they can put their cameras down and intervene. This would have been an easy one, particularly for the males in the room. They could have jumped in, stood between the young ladies. They probably had enough. It wasn't a male or female, but this is one of those stories that was social media. It told a story. It made the story a story. And now social media has become the story because of the film that has surfaced. So I'm just going to say, be careful out there when you go on these trips. People have been found in rooms, carbon monoxide poisoning. Some people have to drink something that was not good. And now you have to worry about the friends you travel with. In other words, social media, this is the different world we're living in, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see what else is going on. Also, let's support our sponsor, BLE Executive Suites. They have their 3 locations, and they have become the ideal hub, no pun intended, for government contractors. So if you're trying to get into SAMS, that's Systems Awards Management, and become a government contractor, then BLE offices qualify. In fact, they have a location in College Park that's a hub zone, and that stands for Historically Underdeveloped Businesses Zone. And so that's part of the government contracting, where you get certain amount of contracts are set aside for companies that operate in a hub zone. So call BLE Suites if you're a government contractor or just trying to start off 2023 with a new office location, answering service, mailbox, business address, or whatever, training rooms. Call them at 301-322-1700 or go to blesuites.com. Also, while you're at it, Gatewood Business Services, we offer web domains for your online address. So go to gatewood.biz, and we have a question today. We're going to give away, as a matter of fact, we're going to give away a free business address and a free web address to help whoever answers our Nerf ball question today. The question today is, what does the acronym HUB in HubZone represent? Many may not have known that HubZone is actually an acronym. HUB actually stands for something. I just blurted it out a minute ago, but if you still want to call in, the number is 1-800-450-7876. 1-800-450-7876. And for those who are tuning in by internet, you can see the number scrolling across the screen. 1-800-450-7876. Let's see what else is going on. Other things that are happening in the news, Facebook and Twitter and Google, Apple are all in a huff. Well, Elon Musk is mad at, he was mad at Apple because Apple threatened to take the Twitter app off of the Apple platform. So they got into a little huff. Now, Zuckerberg is mad at Apple because they feel like Apple shouldn't have that much say so on what apps goes on its platform. So these big millionaire rich guys are kind of fighting it out, trying to carve up this pie. But it also feeds into our theme today. If the product is free, if the service is free, the product is you. So nobody, Zuckerberg, Google, Elon Musk, none of these companies are really giving you anything free. They are giving you, we're going to talk about that later on when we get to our marketing sermon in a few minutes. So the question on the table, what does the acronym HUB in HubZone, what does that represent? And the first one calls in, we're going to give you a free business address for 3 months. That comes with mailbox services, a lot of other goodies from our sponsor, BLE Executive Suites. And also Gatewood Web Services is going to give you a free internet domain. And if you don't have anything else, I'm telling you, go ahead and register your own name. If your name is John Smith, go out here and see if johnsmith.com is available. So when you decide to run for president one day, some bad guy doesn't get your name and try to make money off you. And one of our local politicians happened to them a few years ago. Let's see what else is going on. We're going to come up on a break here. And when we come back, we're going to talk about our sermon for today. And that is, if the product is, if the cost is free, the cost is thee. In other words, you. Also, quickly, companies are also embracing a shorter work week. One more story. The 40-hour work week is basically a thing of the past. We're seeing most companies now have abandoned the 40-hour, 4-day work week. They're giving people the option, particularly when it comes into working to the office. That's a story that's going to continue to evolve. What we're going to do, we're going to take a quick break. Coming up here, we're going to come back. We're going to talk about our sermon. If the product is free, if the cost is free, the service, the cost is thee. This is the Marketing Pulpit. I'm Robert Gatewood, your host, and we're here every Friday at 10:30 a.m. I want to thank everybody who's tuning in online. I see Maddie. I see Brandley, the model. Thank you for tuning in. And we're going to take a quick break coming up here. So hang on. Marketing Pulpit, we'll be right back in a moment. Don't you go anywhere. We are so back. Thank you for tuning in. This is the Marketing Pulpit Show. I'm Robert Gatewood, your host, and we are here every Friday at 10:30 a.m., bringing you the good marketing gospel. Not saving souls. My daddy did that. He was a gospel Baptist preacher. Man, he would get up there in that pulpit and he would just cut the food. Well, I'm not quite doing that, but I tell you what, I am not what you call a gospel minister, but I'm a minister of marketing. And that's what I do here on the marketing pulpit, because we have a problem in our community. Businesses are failing. Some just never get out of the cradle. And the number one reason is because they don't understand marketing. Of course, right behind that is they don't have the right money. They don't have enough money. But even an understanding of marketing will help you understand those financial shortcomings. So you start out with a business plan, get a marketing plan, you look around and say, well, if I don't have enough money to do A, then I should do B. SWOT analysis, all that good stuff. Anyway, thank you again for tuning in. You can find out more about the show by going to marketingpulpit.com. And you can see my ugly mug right on the screen talking to you live. Also, you can catch us on LinkedIn, on YouTube, and on Twitter and Facebook Live. And thank you for everybody who's been tuning in over the years. I see attorney Bradley Thomas. Thank you again, brother, for tuning in. And everybody else who's tuning in. We're going to talk about this phenomenon called if the cost is free, the price is D. You are the price. If somebody gives you something free, and you say, man, I love Google. They gave me a free Gmail account. I just love that Zuckerberg. He gave me this nice Facebook page. Not telling you he can snatch it away from you at any moment or decide to start charging you for it. But he hasn't, so we're going to leave that alone. But Yahoo comes along. They give you something. They're like, man, what nice people. And you saying to yourself, man, what did I do to deserve this? Well, what you did, you were born with eyeballs, fingers that can search the internet, and traffic that you can bring from your circle of influence onto that platform. So next time you're on next time you're on Gmail, look over up in the right hand corner and see those little 9 dots and click on that one day. And you will see all the goodies that Google brings you. There's search, there's map, there's YouTube, there's Google Play, there's Google News, there's Gmail, there's Google Meet, there's Google Chat, there's Google Drive, there's Google Docs, there's Google Shopping, there's Google Hangouts, there's Google Earth, Google Podcasts, Google Travel, Google Forms. Google has created an ecosystem. They started this ecosystem, though, by using a technique that we call the low threshold strategy, where you give somebody something at a very low price or free to get them into your funnel. Google is not Santa Claus. Facebook is not Santa Claus. They're not giving you this freebie because they love you. They might love you. Hey, I don't know what's in a person's heart. Now, when I give you mine, I really love you, okay? I love all of y'all. Mm-hmm. But there's a strategy behind this. And what they're doing is building an ecosystem. I'm going to give you the rules of the game because these rich guys shouldn't have all the fun. When I left corporate America, I decided I was going to cheat the big guys. I left the smoky boardrooms. I wore the white shirt. I think I'm a blue shirt today. But I was back in those rooms making those decisions. And when I left, I'm going to take all the secrets over to the small companies and level this playing field. And that's been one of my missions over all these years. So today is no exception. Let's talk about the rules of the game of how to build this ecosystem. First of all, give away something. I know the small companies, that's like kryptonite. I can't give away something. My bottom line is too thin. I got a new car to buy. I got some new uniform. Your priority is a little off if that's the way you're thinking. You're not really giving away, just like Facebook is not giving away anything, just like Google is not giving away anything. What they're doing, they are leveraging. They're giving you a trinket, something shiny, something sexy, something new for your influence, for your eyeballs, for your attention, for your impressions, and everything that you can bring to that platform. Now, I'm not mad at them. It's a boss move. Matter of fact, I give them some props. Where's my cup? Way to go, guys. My point is, they don't have to be the only one having all the fun. You can have some of this fun too. So let's say you give away something. It doesn't have to be exactly free, but something that's low, that's not going to break your bank, but give it away. And make sure that the cost to you, like I say, is insignificant, but make sure what you are giving away is a required link in the ecosystem chain. Like I give away, all right, I'm gonna let you in on some of my secrets. Okay, darn it. Okay, I give away a free website domain. And you say, wow, that Gatewood guy, he's a really nice brother. Yeah, I'm a nice brother. I treat people right. Matter of fact, I gave to 2 charities this week. So I'm not just in it for the money. Okay, I want everybody to know that. But you can't have a website without a domain, not one that's going to be listed on the internet anyway. Okay, so that is the beginning of the Gatewood Web ecosystem. I know I shouldn't tell you guys this, but I'm telling you, when I give it to you free, it is free. And now you have to sign up, and I think you pay for the year, and we give it back to you as a credit. But for all intents and purposes, it's free. So think about what is it in your inventory. It could be your low price item. It could be a first month free. It could be a smaller version of the actual size, but just give it away. It is so important to get those people into your phone, under your threshold. Okay? And make sure that whatever you're giving away, it has a nice, easy, natural upsell path to something else. So this is what happens. Now, you as a business owner, and like I said, I teach this stuff over at the college. Matter of fact, they contacted me yesterday was to talk about a new program over at the college of the new way to do business. Some of the old ways don't work. That social media, it was no accident. It was built upon the concept of social proof, consensus, desire to belong, follow the leader, Jones, and all that good stuff. And you have to jump on this new way of thinking. Just running the lowest price and working yourself to the death. And also, stop feeling like you have to reinvent the wheel. Take advantage of this technology out here. Everything I'm going to tell you today that I've been talking about really on this show in general, it can usually be done or at least assisted with an app, some type of plug-in if you're on WordPress, some type of software. So stop as a small company feel like, whoa, my God, I'm not Google and Facebook. I don't have this kind of technology. Man, let me tell you something. There's an app, there's some software. Sometimes you may have to, like you say, you have to give away a little something. You may have to become one of those if the cost is free, the fruit is the. Sometimes you have to give up some of a little something to get that technology that you need. Okay, in a nutshell, give away something to get people to try your service. It doesn't have to be free, but free is better. All right, let's see. So let me, and I'm gonna close on this. When you give away something free, you have just planted that person in your garden. And then, just like a gardener, you're going to nourish them until that apple is ready to be plucked from the garden. And that's the whole concept once you get into somebody's ecosystem. All right, folks, that's going to wrap it up for today. Let's see here. What else we got going here? Oh, we got a few more minutes. All right, I want you to go to marketingpulpit.com and sign up. If you haven't followed us already, follow us on Marketing Pulpit. Also, go to YouTube. On YouTube, we have a very good categorization of the different shows. Let's say if you're starting a business, or if you know somebody who's starting a business and they don't know what to do. They have a question about social media. They have a question about branding. They have a question about networking. They have a question about government entities. Go to Marketing Pulpit either on the website or to the YouTube channel and you just do a search. And you will find a show that addresses that very topic. You want to do that. Also, I want you to welcome our newest sponsor, Good Hope Tutoring Service. Good Hope Tutoring Service, since the pandemic kicked in, we've had a problem called what we call COVID learning loss. Now, COVID learning loss means that when the children were out of the classroom, they fell behind. And it has not gone away just because the pandemic has just about gone away. So one of our clients, Good Hoop Tutoring Services, have embarked upon a campaign to combat COVID learning loss. If you have a child, or if you know somebody who has a child trying to get into college, trying to get their grades up, improve their credits, their grades, then call them at 301-717-8046 or go to goodhopetutoring.com. This is a serious problem, ladies and gentlemen. We don't need our community to be set back any further than it always has because of this COVID problem. So go to goodhopetutoring.com, find out more about their services, and give them a call if you know a child. All right, folks. Well, that's going to wrap it up for the day. Go to marketingpulpit.com, and you can get our replay of the show. Also, go to gatewood.biz and register your domain name before some broker gets it and tries to sell it back to you for $2,000. I see that happen way too often. Also, for all of the WOL listeners, you can get 15% off any of our domains just putting in the code WOL. Get that domain, get your own personal name, if nothing else, before somebody else gets it. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to wrap it up for today. I want to thank you again for tuning in to the Marketing Pulpit. And I want to thank everybody who tuned in. Fred, Bradley, Maddie, Brenda, and a lot of the folks that I see out there. I see your numbers, and I don't see your name until you actually make a comment online. Then I can call you out. And thank you again. Folks, that's going to wrap it up. We will see you next week. And if you want to be successful, you have to do these three things. Do the right thing, do it at the right time, and you have to do it right. Enough talk. Let's get to work. Strong fences make good neighbors. Now, what does that mean? If you have a neighbor on one side of you or the other side or behind you, if you don't have a good fence, your dog gonna be running in your yard, the kid's gonna be playing kickball and knocking out your windows, and the lawnmower is gonna be cutting on your side and all kind of stuff going on. And it's gonna create some hostility because you didn't have a strong fence. You put a strong fence there, everything is clear. Keep your kid over here. Keep your dog over here. Don't have him over here in my yard doing the nasty. And the same thing when it comes to contracts and agreements. Get your strong agreement. Get it in writing. Strong fences do make good neighbors, and strong contracts make good comedians.